Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here, to you and those who are joining right now. The purpose of this open meeting, which is open to everybody, not just to the attendees that has already registered for next year, is to explain two things. First of all, who is Simple and what Simple does to those who don't know us. And the other is to show a little bit of the news for the next year to those who are already part of the Simple community. I see many well-known names and faces, and explain why it might be useful to continue attending the school, especially for the news that are going to be introduced. I would start with a brief overview of the models and activities, and then we'll ask John to explain a little bit what is going to be his involvement next year, which will be bigger than previous editions, not only for the school, but also for a series of activities that John will tell you. And then I will ask Thomas to tell us a little bit the news which we intend to activate for the next edition. And then, of course, we will reply to all questions, doubts that we are receiving for the moment by email or in the chat or via LinkedIn. So this might be an occasion to reply to everybody in a way that it is recorded and can be as reference as frequently asked questions. Let's say I will go through some of them, and then you can add your own questions. Okay. So let me share my screen and see if I can go on with this presentation. Can you correctly see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So Simple, what, where, who, when, and so on. So what it is, simply a school. And who is the trainer? Who are the trainers of Simple? Many different world experts. Here you have, in this meeting, John Doherty, the author of Pest, Thomas Raymond for TU Dresden. And there is a long list of other trainers that join the courses, online courses, and recorded video courses, which are in a little treasure that we have as basics for reference, as we'll see. Every session is recorded. Every live session along the school is recorded and uploaded into an e-learning platform. And you can attend the school from wherever you are. It's a bit tricky with time zones, but since everything is recorded, it's not hard to catch up. We might ask some of the attendees here which is their experience in dealing with time zones and live sessions during the night. And we will start the next edition in January. Registration to the school are officially closed, but we are going to reopen the registration modules for a few more days, since we are organizing to create subgroups so we can deal with a little bit more people in case there are many requests. So no worries, we are reopening the registration modules. And why Simple exists, for those who attended, they already know. Those who will attend, they will know pretty soon. But basically, the motive was the urgent need to put up something that could fill the gaps in hydrogeological training in hydrogeological knowledge at every level, from authorities, consultancy, also researchers are joining Simple to fill a bit of gaps which are in the academic system, specifically on the topic of hydrogeology. So it's very heterogeneous, the attendees audience, let's say, but the common motivation is to apply more what has been learned in theory at school or at the university, since much of Simple is based on real-world cases. So this is the founders of Simple. So it's me, and it's Fabio Romani, Sara Leggio. These are the partners of the innovative startup, and the founders, Daniele Bruschi and Luigi Lana. And Simple was founded in 2021. It is an accredited training organization since May 2021, and a research spin-off of our regional authorities from July 2021. Since then, we went through 4 editions, 4 years of full program, and we are going to start the 5th edition of the school. The overall number of attendees of the school was in 4 years, something like 300, 400, around 400. Let me see if I can move on here. Sorry. Okay. Behind Simple, there is not just the trainers, but there is also a scientific committee. You have here John and Thomas, but then there is also Daniel Feinstein, Gabriele Bernagozzi, Giovanni Formentin, Eric Martin, and Professor Piscopo from University of Tuscia. And we all discuss and try to organize the activities. We think together which could be the next update or the next improvement of the school according to the precious feedback of participants. So participants are actually part of the scientific committee, since we are totally not only open, but we require suggestion, feedback, and help, support also from the attendees, in a way that we can, every year, we can do better somehow. This is just an overview of some of the trainers. There is Sara Pandau, there is Vincenzo Francani for the Italian attendees. It's a kind of a piece of history in hydrogeology. Well, I can't name all of them. There is a web page which is dedicated to the profiles of the trainers. So this is just faces, let's say. And as I said, the content of the school are divided in sections. There is one section which is the before modeling that is increasing and growing, let's say, with time, and is based on essential topics. So all the basics that you need to move on with hydrogeological processing of data or modeling, of course, you can always get back here and review, refresh knowledge of many topics. This is an open module in a way that it's growing with time as we add new resources. I go quickly. Then there is the first module that covers, the first module that covers the modeling part, and with starting introducing the modeling, how to use it, how to build a model through different interfaces like ModelMuse, Groundwater Vistas. Sometimes we are asked to deal with FIFLOW, so that we have a couple of courses, and on request, this can be covered as well. And then there is the third module, which is where all the acquired, let's say, knowledge converge into build, calibrate, and assess the uncertainty in real project application. And we have been dealing with landfills, contamination cases, but in the, let's say, in the pipeline, there are mining example, water supply protection, seawater intrusion, construction, dewatering, and geothermal plants. So this, for the moment, we have applied the exercise, let's call it, the application to the management of a landfill in Viterbo and a contaminated site in Milan. But year after year, we choose different cases, which come from basically a real world project, consultancy project, basically, or research project, and we apply all the tools that we learn to use to these applied cases. There is the field part, of course, which is absolutely important, but the field hydrogeology part is not, let's say, in the school, is let's say, parallel to the school, since it's not easy for everyone to reach us here in Italy. Next year will be in Europe again, the Field Hydrogeology Week, but this is not included in the school, but an essential part, of course, of training hydrogeology. So we offer this experience to those who has no other way to perform field investigation. It's part of the program that of the courses that Simple offers, not in the school, but as important as the school, because it's the origin of all our data and all our information come from there. So it's important to walk together in the field and notice the most important thing, especially if we have to use the data that we collect in the field to solve a problem. So we should be focused also in the field on what matters. And then we do other series of courses on request. For instance, we've been doing a course for decision makers, people that are not going to build a model, but are going to get decision on the basis of models. So it's a different target. It's a different way to explain things for decisions. So, but this is just to make an example of other things that we can include in our activities. Then, starting from next year, there will be the chance to become a member of the Simple community. So membership would have different benefits. We will send you an email with a recap of all the how to do that. And that's it. So that's it from my side. These are other ways to join Simple, which is to collaborate. You have the webpage dedicated to join the LinkedIn page and the Telegram Simple community chat, which has now around 170 hydrogeologists that joined. And then, of course, the membership, which has been just added to the webpage, how to become a member. All right, let me stop my screen. And I'm late, of course, but now let's move on immediately with John. So, John, we might have a look to the new section of the website with you, which was going to be named the John's Corner, but then the name was modeling. But actually, it is the John's Corner. So if you want to share your screen or whatever, tell us something about this new website section that goes together with new Simple activities for next year.
So you can see my screen.
Yes.
And so I've been helping a little bit with this part of the Simple website. And like at the moment, I guess, it'd be fair to say, and please excuse me if I'm not all that coherent. I got up real early this morning. I travelled 1,000 kilometres today, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and I'm pretty tired. Um, so, what's my involvement going to be in Simple from now on? Francesca and I are still talking about it. I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't know too much about what my involvement's going to be in anything. I have to say that like some of the things that Francesca said about what simple should be, and some of the defining words were, and I haven't prepared anything here, were things like gap, that what it can simple do that's not being done anywhere else, and that implies a certain amount of uniqueness about what simple does. Otherwise, what's the point of there being simple? And the other important thing is that feedback element. What do people want? Like, I know what I perceive as the gaps, but that's sort of academic in a way. It's what you perceive as the gap. Now, now for me, just personally, um, I'm a modeler, and the stuff that I've worked on over most of my career has kind of been a little bit ancillary to simulation. That's the history matching, the calibration, and the uncertainty analysis. But and people have heard my talks will say, well, it's often seen that you have a simulator, and then icing on the cake is the calibration and the uncertainty analysis. For me, it's if anything the other way around. It's why are we modeling? Why? Because we're going to make a decision. What do we need when we make a decision? Information. Where does information reside? Data. How do you get information out of data? A model doesn't get information out of data. A model can quite beautifully, elegantly, and aesthetically express crap, and just about always does. Our job is to actually use modeling not as an animated figment of geological imagination, but as a scientific instrument. And that's what facts can we get out of this data? And just as importantly, what are the ramifications for the decision that we've got to make of insufficient information? And that says that modeling on its own is only half the story and totally incomplete. To finish the story, you got to have software that dances with models, and that'll be stuff like PEST or PEST++, but also the stuff that PEST and PEST++ rely on, and that'll be things like geostatistical expressions of what may be under the ground, something that has a relation to reality but is adjustable, or if it isn't adjustable, yet you can still use to host information. And a model is just a host for information and a filtering of information and a delivery of information to the decision maker. Now that's not what we're taught just about anywhere. Now I was heavily involved in GMDSI, which some of you may know about, and there's a YouTube channel and a whole lot of tutorials which I wrote, and the YouTube channel which you can see my ugly face delivering boring videos about these topics. But that's kind of so that's to me what modeling is, and any contribution I make to simple would be along those lines. And I think that would help to make it unique because you don't hear this message anywhere else. But the situation is complicated and it's fast changing in the modeling world. And to think that what we do in groundwater model is scientifically driven is probably a fallacy. My experience is that modeling is more about politics than anything else. It's a kind of an exotic ritual we do to make decisions, to make people believe that we're actually using science to make that decision. And 9 times out of 10, it's just a giant, complicated, expensive exercise in confirmation bias. And that's where it all goes wrong. So given that, and given my jaded and pessimistic view of reality, and what I could contribute after all this time, well, what could I contribute to this? Now, again, it's got to be driven by what people want. But what I see is a couple of fundamentals. Firstly, as Francesca said, anything that I do with anyone else, any way I can share what I've learnt with the next generation, needs to be focused on the real world. So there's plenty of good courses about how you turn a couple of basic scientific concepts like conservation of mass and that water flows downhill into partial differential equations. That's important, but it's not the part that I'm interested in it, and the more I know about that, the better, but it's not the whole story. The big thing that's missing is that someone's got a problem and it's insoluble. There's just so many ways that, what's going to happen if I put a mine here? How much water is going to flow into the mine? Is it going to affect a groundwater dependent ecosystem, or how much density of shallow groundwater can I use for maintenance of heat, shallow groundwater as a geothermal resource? These are next to impossible problems because we know so little about what's under the ground. Yet, we got to build a model not because we think we can actually simulate what's under the ground, but as a way of getting at every bit of information that's there and turning it into a decision, and with the decision maker being fully aware that he or she will be taking risks, and then informing him or her that A, there's no way you're not going to be taking risks, and B, this is our best assessment of the risks you're taking. And modeling's not delivering that now. So what can I do? Well, how can we change the culture of modelling a little bit so that it's a little bit more aligned with what I just said? And I'm not being arrogant by saying what I just said is right. Well, I might be arrogant to say, isn't it obvious? But why is modelling so political, and why is so much modelling obviously so stupid? So how do we go about changing this? Well, what I want to do is walk with people who want to, we've got a problem. So no talk. I'm sick of talk. There's a problem. Can we solve a problem together? How can we decompose that problem? What calculations can we do, modeling or otherwise, that can help people make a decision? And in the end, it's not just going to be where does water flow. More importantly is where we've got to make information flow. So what I'd like to do is have a situation, whether simple can be that situation, that context or not, I don't know. I'd like to try. Where we can sit down together, you bring me a problem and together we solve it. You're the ones who know the site. You're the ones who know the issues. I may be able to bring, something from years of experience, both in trying to decompose problems into something that you can do calculations to help people make decisions. And can we do that together? 2, 3, 4 cases maybe. Can we then turn that into a documentation or a book or a set of tutorials or videos? Everyone goes straight to YouTube to learn stuff these days, or all of the above. So can we, as a group, me and whoever's interested, bring your problems, let's work out together and leave a little bit of a legacy, both in contributing to a solution of a problem that's important, but also contributing to how to solve a problem that's important, as the legacy of what, Simple can contribute to the world and what I can contribute to Simple. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Whether it's possible or not, I don't know. So, I've just been with Francesca, firstly, a couple of things. So what are the strategies? If you're going to be doing uncertainty analysis, parameter estimation, etc., you're going to have to be doing computing. Simple's got a nice little cluster, nice big cluster here that you can use at very cheap rates to help you if we do this together, or if not, if you've just got a model and you want to use PEST or PEST++, here's a cluster, very cheap rates. And if you want help above and beyond just running your model on that cluster, we can talk to you for nothing, just to give you a little bit of hints, or we can get more involved if you like. And then we're talking about consulting, but again, at cheap rates. But that's just, this is sort of, that's one way in which we could be working together, or not. If you just want to use the cluster, that's fine too. It's a little bit of software, like I did some stuff through Francesca, like the capture zone analysis, and there's a Voronoi grid generator. And I can keep on contributing to this if there's bits of software. Again, what I like, my focus is on the model ancillary stuff. There's little software satellites that revolve around simulation. So does Simple give, if we are from experience gained in working together. There's plenty of software available through the PEST suite for free, but if there was ancillary software that was able to do things above and beyond what PEST does, that can be made available through the Simple, just as a bit of a shop window for Simple and as a focus for us working together, we can continue doing that. I can continue doing that kind of stuff. And as I said, the free advice thing too. So what we've been talking about a bit so far is, like Simple as a sort of as a community, as a basis for education. How can I contribute to the education in ways I just said, through formal, you formally being part of Simple, we're all being part of that Simple community. But if you want to be a more distant relative of Simple, just so consulting with a difference, and then that's an option as well. So if you want to use the cluster, if you want free advice a little bit, free advice a lot, someone to walk your journey with you, help you think about your problem, even if you're not, a part of the inner sanctum of Simple, that can be done too. So I envisage, I'll wind up here, what can I contribute to Simple? I'm not sure yet, but something along the lines of formal to semi-formal education focused on problem decomposition and real-world application, to things more a little bit there on a spectrum to somewhere a bit more like consulting, but consulting with a difference where it's not just, I'll do the work, here's the answer, but can I be part of your journey so we're both richer for having spent part of our journey together? So that's where I'll finish. Is that okay, Francesca?
Thank you, John. Maybe you don't have clear ideas, but I do. So about your role. So don't worry. I'll tell you later what we are going to do next year. So meet me someone. Thank you, John. Thank you. Thomas, if you would like to say something about you also and about next year.
So I hope it's visible. And I can say a little bit about what we are doing and how it was coming. So Francesca said, and John was saying it, we have a lot of recordings and a lot of videos, and we did this Simple School for 2 years. At least I was involved for 2 years. And after a while, it's ending up in Zoom meetings where you sit in front of the computer and talk and talk and talk. And we have the recordings, and for the coming year, we intend to use more of the recordings and to provide additional materials for those who need it. Because we also have a large group of people that are maybe some very familiar to the basics in the theory, and some are coming from a different background. And to serve all these different things, I think it's a good idea to be a bit more specific. And one of the reasons, or one of the tools that we use for that, is this app that we developed last year. So this is still the last year's edition. I would have a little bit of like an overview what is inside there. And my idea or my approach would be to increase the use of these tools in this edition, to use more the recordings and provide additional educational resources on that way. So the first thing that is likely very useful for a lot of the attendees is that it is structured in that way. And in the past, we shared all the slides over this app. So just giving a short introduction on the slides that are here. These are the ones from the basic part. And here are the presentations. These are the slides. So far, it's not so fancy and not so amazing, but the good thing is that all the slides, or many of the slides, are coming with notes, with speaker notes. And there is an option for a translation. So in case, whatever, we want to have them in Hindi, you can click and then you get the translations of the speaker notes in your language, still together with the original notes. So probably that's a bit of a tool to lower the language hurdle and to make this barrier a little bit less. And then we have the opportunity to provide some practical examples. Last year we used something, let's take this one, which is explaining the well capture. I think this was one of the examples that I also saw in John's slides, where it becomes with the uncertainty of the well capture zone. And those who want to recap a little bit the basics, they can have a look here and they can read about the theory. There are usually some questions that help you to check your understanding if you have the basics. There are some instructions for exercises, what you can do and what you can learn. And I think this is a pretty efficient tool for those who need it. That's my idea. There are some more advanced tools that were coming up in the past, also that I would like to show. So one is distributed together with the Groundwater project. And that is something that partially also covers what Francesca was introducing with the field week. So this is a module that explains you the basics from the pumping test and the pumping test analysis. And it comes with a lot of additional information. There's also, for example, the opportunity to use some of these methods with original data. These, for example, are the data from a field site in Sweden, and then there are data from the Viterbo site in Italy, coming with kind of additional instructions, plus always questions for self-assessment. So I think self-assessments are a pretty useful tool that no one who already knows spends too much time, and those who need it, they get a hint of what is required. And then my idea would be to have still weekly or bi-weekly or whatever is the schedule meetings where we can deal with the questions. So I would suggest to give a little bit of like a schedule, what are the topics, give some instructions where you find the materials to read, and then have the online live meetings dealing with the questions from the attendees. All right, that's it. That's the pumping test module. Another one, giving a bit more an outlook, is dealing with boundary conditions, also very basic stuff. We will link it in the simple app by the time, and gives you a bit of like basic explanation about how boundary conditions act and how to describe them and how to consider them conceptually for your modeling. And once these basics are set up, you can proceed and continue with all this very useful and super nice, let's say, applications and theory from John and the other colleagues that are doing a bit more the advanced topics. Okay, that's, I think, a short introduction. I hope I did not miss anything.
Thank you, Thomas. Just to be clear, all these tools are free and are accessible from wherever, are not related to registering to the school or simple. So it's a kind of, it's independent, partially independent from simple, but also the simple app can be accessed by whoever. So you just have to have the link and you just enter and use the material. So this is completely for free, as we do have several free courses which are on the website, more as to be added. For next year, we are also going to advertise a course from Saurabh Pandai, which is the developer of Modflow USG and gave, let's say, a big contribution to Modflow 6. So there will be, it will be, let's say, advertised in these days. And then this can be just registered and it will be for free. Free courses starting from next year will have, since now, up to now, they had no certification when courses were given for free, we have somehow no control over the commitment of attendees. So the news for next year is that even for free courses, there will be the chance to obtain the certificate of attendance, but also of commitment, let's say, solving some questionnaire, and that will come with the certification. So this is an additional option for the free courses starting from next year. There, since it requires time for us to evaluate your results of the test, that would have a little, fee, but that would be absolutely affordable. I'll share again my screen just to show you a bit what I was talking about. So this is our website. So we have been through this section with John. There is the learning where you can find the courses. And here you have both the courses under payment. So here you have clearly written the price first thing. So we don't want to hide the price somewhere. It's clearly written. And then you have the free courses that can be accessed from this page of courses. These are standalone courses, so they are an additional service, an additional opportunity to, if you don't have the time to be engaged in a 1-year course in the school, there are these short courses. Some of them overlaps with the school content. So some of these courses are both standalone and part of the training of the school, okay? So if you register to the school, you basically have access to all the courses, all the standalone courses that are going to be held next year. This means that the PES course will be part of the school, but also available as a standalone course. It is also available as recording with assistance and with a certificate when it is not for free, the course. So this is in the learning. Then we have the tutoring, which is similar to what to the free advice that John was talking about. But the free advice is to evaluate what you actually need, and it's in a short time if we can help. If you need something a little bit more structured in time for your company, for your group of research, for PhD students, there are PhD students joining our tutoring specifically on their own project. So we help to, we support students, PhD students or employees or consultant to develop a project. So we are all consultant. Thomas is also from the academia, but also has an experience in consultancy. So we know how to deal with clients, with problems and so on. And we can support in many different ways, especially according to what John said, about how to get oriented in a problem in a way that the problem can be decomposed and become treatable, but most of all become solvable somehow as far as it is possible. So the tutoring is a kind of coaching, mentoring, call it as you like, but it's for, you can read it in the page. So if you need something more continuous in time, that this is possible. And then here you have the Simple App link, the one that Thomas just showed. The trainers, here you have the school, the program of the school for the next year is found here. And here you can go through all the topics, and also important, you have the program which is with days and hours. So you can We also share a calendar in a way that you have all the dates in your own calendar. But here it is the plans for through next year, okay? And you can already save, let's say, the days which are occupied by the training. Here you can also have a look at the trainers that are involved, especially in the basics part. So you have recordings for the GIS course by Giovanna, pumping test course by Jesus Carrera, Python basics by Jacopo Borsi, and many other topics are covered. Mike Finan, FlowPy, Rui Hagman, FlowPy again, Randy Hunt, modeling errors, for instance, or there are pumping tests, Vincenzo Piscopo, contamination, Marco Petrangeli Papini, karstic aquifer by Petita. So it's a huge amount of material. You don't need to watch everything. You don't need to look at everything, but you might search for what you're interested in. Also, environmental economy, we also have that, microbiology, whatever, geophysics, everything is there, or geological structure. And then this is the school, the program. This is the pricing and the scholarship opportunities for different countries. Every subscription can be paid in installment, no problem. There are IAH and SGI discount and the regular fees. Then the tutoring, okay, and the scholarship. You have a submission model for the scholarship where all the countries which are eligible are listed, okay? So the scholarship attendance is completely free, but there is an agreement, let's say, of commitment, and you receive something, and the commitment is to give back something. Okay, so if you are also from previous year, if you have the benefit of a scholarship, and you can access the program, access the material, have the support and everything, what the world asks you is to give back your help and your support to other people. This is how this Telegram chat has been created with this purpose. So here you have this simple Telegram chat. And in the general, there are different topics. You have a general topic where there are several discussions going on, but then there is a FIFLO section, the link please for those who doesn't find the email, a PES section, exercises and tip, develop along the school, pumping test, discussions, aquifer vulnerability, and so on. And topics can increase. So we have now 164 members from different edition of the school. So it's transversal to the different edition. There are people coming from standalone courses, not only the school. Other are just friends joining because they might post questions and somebody would answer among all the attendees or all the participants or the members of this chat. So, and also there is something that we just introduced, which is who are we? Because, you know, up to when we were about 100, I could remember every single one, but now I'm getting confused with names. And we have like 30 Abdul and 200 the Muhammad. So I get confused and so this help to have the name and who you are, where you are, because we have Simple is joined by 120 different countries. So it's important to know in which world you live. And this is the chat. Everybody is welcome to join. No problem. So even if we share the link for the live session and you know, just enter, no problem. We are not interested. We are not fiscal. We are not, let's say, interested in who is joining. But if you by accident enter a meeting, no problem. You can be a listener, let's say, okay? Then if you want to have the access to the learning platform, you, of course, need to get, to register, of course. This is the learning platform, just briefly. It is based on Moodle, which is one of the most wider spread learning system management, management system. The first thing that let me share you the link in the chat. The first thing that you find is the join the Telegram group. Let me send also this one, right? And you find the current program going on, the app from Thomas, and here you have the school editions. Since the school access never ends, so you register for next year, but in 10 years, you want to have a look to a specific topic because you need it in that time, you can still access. So it's never ending. You have, it doesn't expire. And for this reason, we still have the second edition access. We have the first edition and everything, which is still here. So here you have the 3 modules, you have the test and questionnaires, you have the standalone courses, and so on, just to give you an idea. So this is the how the courses are organized in modules. Module 1 is divided in module 1, B, C, and so on. And then you can, okay, you need credentials, of course. You have videos uploaded, slides, questionnaires. Then you have material, for instance, here. These are the keywords for the search. You can always search for a specific topic all over the platform. You have resources with book, links, PDF of documentation, various books, whatever, and exercises, of course, files. So because we apply things, so we upload data, real world data, to be processed and apply the theory to real stuff. So that is the learning platform. And to conclude, this is the membership opportunity, which has been just created. This was also partially requested by, we have some, let's say, friends or aficionados in Spanish. So we have some that are attending many courses, basically all the courses we propose, and they ask for a discount, of course, because they are so committed in joining every activity we do. So we thought together to put up this kind of membership system in a way that you are a recognized member and you are you have this benefit, like also testing the software that John develops, so that you might be the first to try it and to give feedback. So this is something that we have already done with Capture and WorldGridGen, sharing the link in the Telegram chat. This would give you this chance. And then also something extremely important that we're going to put up is a membership, a member database. So I request almost daily, do you have a good modeler? Good question. So can you suggest to me a good one? And this comes from companies, this comes from universities for PhD scholarship that go that are not, let's say, that there are not enough people applying for PhDs. So we thought to create a space in which you can search for profiles or propose your profile, an exchange space, which is very specific. You know, our world is of hydrogeology is pretty small, but also numerical modeling is even smaller. So we, in Italy, we know, everybody knows each other in this field, in this industry. So and I'm a kind of connection between companies and universities, because I come from the university and then moved to consultancy. So I'm asked both sides. So this is something to simplify my life, replying emails, so you can do it by yourself and search and contact directly the profiles, which will be uploaded in this database starting next year. And we have time for questions now. Let me stop, or comments, or whatever you would like to add. Was I sharing my screen? Yes, I was sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, sorry. So, I was seeing something in the chat. Link to the Telegram group, please. And what is the app? Telegram, yes. This is link to the app. All right, all right. How does one join the school? And any information on the fees related. I hope I have answered this question in the meantime. So starting from the website, everything should be clear, since, let me just to be sure. I know the website is not, let's say, so tidy, but we also are going to restructure a little bit. So the school is as its own menu, and for registering, there is this capital letter register, and in this page you can register filling the form. So this is for registration. Pricing is in this page. These are the prices. I've always, everybody tells me that the fees are ridiculous compared to the amount of hours and content offered. The point is that we just try to cover the expenses, so it's not a business, let's say. Actually, it's less than a business. It's not a business at all, trust me. But this is our policy, let's say. So this is the pricing and also the scholarship. So the price of the regular fees are also helping to allow us to offer for free to the scholarships, the free attendance and support and everything. For the scholarship submission, still open, there is the submission modules, and there are a few conditions, and the list of country from low income and lower middle income economies from the World Bank. You need to be resident in those countries. So if you are studying abroad, we need to talk. So there is an individual case evaluation if you're not resident at the moment. And then I think, so this is how you can join. If there is a WhatsApp group, yes, there is also a WhatsApp group not started by myself, but by attendees independently. I'm not taking care a lot of that, but it exists. So, but I'm more, I reply to questions in the Telegram one, because we had to choose. We know that in some countries there is no possibility to join Telegram. We might do another double group. So Nafna received the letter. of the scholarship worth, all right, you can access everything. Amdar. It's just a matter of how much time you have.
Thank you, Francisca. I have, okay, this is Nafan from Jordan.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I can access all courses, but regarding the field work, I remember there was a 1 week of field work. So is that covered, or I need to cover myself for that?
So the field work, it's included, but you should cover the trip. So you can join. Unfortunately, because our fees are too low, we can't cover the expenses. So you can come, of course. We would be very happy for everybody to come, but the trip and accommodation. Actually, accommodation, there might be some options in our site, in our building, for the accommodation, but the trip is up to
Okay.
the activities.
Thank you.
Sure. So Triumph is saying that is being given a scholarship. No, you don't need to apply anywhere else. I had some health issue recently, so I'm a bit late with communications. I'm sorry. But I'll keep up. I'll catch up. And in any case, we will start in January. So no rush. So the first meeting of the school is the days is that 9th of January, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so that would be the start. Up to then, you might receive the credential to attend or enroll in a way that you might start having a look to the material, to the recording things. Okay. There is Vladislav asking for sharing a link. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe, oh, it's late, but let me just, I made some confusion also because I was not feeling good with this meeting, as you have noticed. It was 9, then 10, then 11. David, I have no real question, but just want to give a huge thumbs up to this initiative. Simple is probably the best thing since sliced bread. Thank you. Thank you, David. I agree. Well, some food might be better than simple, but anyway, I agree. Thank you. Let me just enter. We have finished, guys. So those who have to go can leave, of course. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. The field trip, keep tuned and you will know it. Next year will be in France. We have been asked, so we are like in a tournée. We have been asked by Alexandre Prier from University of Bordeaux to do the course there. So we will be on vacation in France, okay? All right, so I keep you updated and thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.